off with Chris Ballas from the Wolverine.
Coach, has the protocol and stuff like that hindered your ability to practice this week at all and put you behind in that respect, or you guys been good to go 100% each day?
No, we haven't been good to go at 100%. We've just been figuring out ways to navigate through what we've been dealt with COVID and the COVID protocol. So, we're trying to, stay afloat and stay ready, which each day by day we'll continue to keep, working to try to get to that point. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, it's frustrating, but it's frustrating for us all in the sports world and the non-sports world.
Please use the chat room to see if you can ask a question, please. Alejandro from Michigan Insider.
Juwan, with that said, do you have any update on which of the players or how many players will be available tomorrow?
No, I do not. Sorry.
Next question, please. Please use Nick Mantis from WLNS in Lansing.
Coach, my apologies, my camera isn't working right now. I wanted to just kind of touch base on how things are feeling as you guys kind of going through the new ways of classes and getting things together, and knowing that the schedule's been a little off, but you're still gearing up for such a big game, and how preparations are going.
Well, I'll try my best to hopefully answer your question, because to be honest with you, not only your camera is not working, but your reception was not very good at all. But I think I heard how we've been able to navigate with classes. And what else? What was the other part?
Sorry about that. The other part is just preparing for this big matchup, knowing that things have been kind of up and down when it comes to the scheduling.
Well, I will say this. I really commend and respect, and I've always have been a big fans of how our guys have been able to deal with, adversity, and while that, not making excuses for it. We have a type of mentality within our group where we roll up our sleeves and embrace the suck. And so not making it excuses, which we never will, and we're excuse-based type of group. What we have, who's available to play, we trust that every guy going to play hard, play together, play smart, and play to win. And I really admired how our guys went out there and competed on the road at Rutgers. Now, as far as now the school has started back on. Wednesday was the first day. Looking back to how our guys have done in the classroom has been special. We have a group of student athletes who not only has done and asked everything that me and my staff has asked of them to come and practice, work hard, be locked in, give your best effort. They have done the same thing in the classroom, not just only this year for the first of the semester, but last year as well. And it says a lot about the type of young men that we recruit, as well as what is being taught at home. And I commend their parents for doing a fantastic job in teaching discipline, but making the main thing that education is just as important as they love and passion for basketball.
Next question comes from John Borton from the Wolverine.
Juwan, when you have guys that can shoot the basketball and they are in a slump, is their own personality part of how you try to help them through that, or how you approach working with them?
Well, basketball game is based on, what's going in the basket, who defending, and at the end of the scoreboard, who won, who lost. But sometimes we fail to realize that, now, in college, it's very, in a sense, fragile, and fragile in the way of, you got to be, careful of how and what you demand of your group, but at the same time, understanding that they're going to make mistakes. The ball is not going to always bounce in every time, and keep encouraging is the most important thing. And that's what, I've always been that type of, guy, whether when I played or now in coaching, that that you need to hear a pat on the back. And you also need to know that your coach is in your corner and supporting you. And at times you're going to get coached hard, but it's not always by the ball bouncing in the basket. It's about your effort. And it's also about your passion and love for your teammates. And at the end, I look at all that and I sum it up in one, group and say, we won. When you have a group that has that type of mindset. And we have an amazing group of young men that wants to make every shot, that wants to make the right play, that want to play mistake-free basketball. And as a coach, I'm so proud of how, our mindset has been and the attitude has been within the team.
Next up is John Nio from the Detroit News.
Hey, Juwan, what do you tell freshmen, new guys about this rivalry, about this game? And I guess how much do you lean on guys like Eli and I guess, even Hunter obviously went through this last year?
Well, our guys are really in tune to, the Michigan State rivalry. And I think a lot has started with football. What the game that was played and we watched that game when we were on the bus driving to DePaul, which that was going to be our first scrimmage game. And they heard the importance of it by watching it on the bus and hearing it through the broadcast. They also are very in tune to what's happening on social media. And then, like the competition, we compete against everyone, no matter if it's in-state rivalry or not. But to be an in-state rivalry, a team that's down the road, they understand this is very important, and they've heard it from me, and they will continue to keep hearing it today as well as tomorrow. But Eli doesn't have to say anything. You embraced it when you come as a freshman and you now join the University of Michigan. And our guys have done their due diligence during the recruiting process, knowing, the background check on Michigan and, who are the teams that Michigan look at as a rivalry. Who are the teams that, hate or dislike Michigan? They're very in tune to it.
Next is Nick Stoll from the Michigan Daily.
Yeah, as you pretty much just said, Juwan, this rivalry means a lot to you, means a lot to this team. What can going out, getting a win tomorrow at home kind of do when you're heading into what is honestly a really tough slate with Purdue and Illinois coming up also next week?
Well, one game at a time has always been our approach. And playing at home has always been, you got to protect home, your home court. And you have your home fans that's going to be there supporting you, your family, your friends, alumni group, student body, Maze Rage. Play inspiring basketball because, your fans are going to get behind you and support, your effort. And it's good to know that, this game and the next games coming up, are very competitive games, but that's the Big Ten. And the Big Ten is a very competitive conference.
Next question comes from Andrew Kahn from MLive.
Hey, Juwan, just a couple things. First of all, the Big Ten, it's my understanding they have like a concrete rule in place now for whether teams can play. If you have a certain number of players and a certain number of coaches healthy, you play. I guess, are you in favor of that as opposed to last year where it's kind of always uncertain whether or not teams, would play or not?
Well, I've always been the type of guy that's favorable rules and respect them. And, the leadership that's in place, that they have, come together and I guess unanimously have felt that this is the best way moving forward to continue our season. You're not going to always like everything that has been, thrown your way, but you have to respect it. And I do respect it. And so with 7 players, 1 coach that is healthy, they consider that you have to play. Hey, we meet the criteria. We met the criteria on what was that, Tuesday versus Rutgers.
Right.
Hopefully, We haven't got to tomorrow yet, but I pray to God that we have healthy bodies to compete tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Including
And then,
myself.
right.
Hopefully I'll be okay. And you know, we love to see you guys there too as well.
Yeah, thanks. I second that. And then as far as Michigan State, I mean, what is your perspective of their roster that you could share with us? Obviously, a new point guard and a freshman who's making a big impact. What do you see from them?
Oh, very deep group. They got a deep roster. You know, they loaded at the front court with a rotation of 4 to 5 big guys, and they've had success with that. And they have a very good backcourt. They have a good wing play by, like you touched on earlier, with Christie being a freshman. But you also have to, add the guy who's been playing extremely well, and that's Gabe Brown. He's been the head of the snake, I would say, and with the new transfer in Walker, he's been solid. But they also have a very good player that's coming off the bench in Hogart, who's been playing some good basketball for him. So Coach Izzo, I mean, we all know is, we'll have his team ready to compete, and they're a very physical team, and they're going to play hard from start to finish. They understand it's a rivalry game, so they're going to play with some nastiness about them, and we just got to be ready to bring our lunch pail, our hard hats, and let's go to work. Mano a mano.
Next question comes from Clayton Safey from the Wolverine.
Yeah, one of my questions was asked, but I guess I'll ask about a guy you didn't mention, Marcus Bingham, and the way he's defending right now. I guess what kind of challenge does that present for Hunter and your big guys?
Well, Marcus has been playing well this year, being a starter and being a consistent starter, like last year and year before that, he was scratching the surface, and now he's playing with a load of confidence. But I got a damn good big guy too, and Hunter Dickinson, and I'm rolling with him, and I'm in his corner. But we have more than just that, so that's that.
Anybody else have any other questions? Coach, we have another one from Nick Mantis that he would like me to read. He said, when sitting down with Coach Izzo yesterday, he shared how much he's enjoyed building the relationship of a respectful hatred with you being the head coach, from recruiting you to now respect you as a coach. Now the respect has continued to grow. How much have you enjoyed the first years coaching against Tom Izzo?
I didn't get into it earlier, but, Coach Izzo is a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, it's documented. He's had, over 27 years as a head coach, won a national championship, won, I can't count how many Big Ten championships. And yes, that's the type of guy who you look at and you say, wow, he's had a lot of success, and how he's done it has been, remarkable. I'm a young coach and my third year in, and I want to grow and look at some of those same successes as Coach Izzo. But at the same time, like he touched on, this rivalry is respectful in a lot of ways. And I've always been taught by my grandmother, respect your elders. But at the same time, when it comes to competition, I don't look at age. I don't look at, who that individual is. I just look at the opponent. And right now, the opponent that stands in our way is Michigan State. And that's how I'm dialed in.
Does anybody have any other questions for Coach?